Joe Philly.
How do I look? You look awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You notice I'm representing?
Oh, I didn't notice because I was trying to look at my stupid face. Okay. Hey, okay. My beautiful sis representing.
Yeah, you
So
know I have
hi.
to represent. Hey.
Thanks for having me on your show. This is
You
great.
know what? I could not have you on. You're the reason why this show came about. Just brainstorming with you. You always come up with great ideas. And so
The
I was like,
brainstormer.
I'm just saying, we gotta put some of this stuff into action.
Let's
So
do it. I'm glad.
right now I'm already recording. I just want this to be organic. And some of this might be behind the scenes or outtakes or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So we just gonna keep it rolling the whole time. And when we catch
Let's
it, what
let's
we catch.
let's roll. Let's do
Ye-
it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, as you know, the whole point of this is to highlight your story because often we hear about the people that are at the top in those executive positions or what have you, and they get all the shine in the industry, but rarely do we hear about the people who make things run every day, right? The people who
Yeah, for
are
sure.
actually in motion, who keep, it's like all this behind the scenes stuff that you never hear about. And as an educator, I work with kids a lot, and everyone has that same answer when you ask them what they want to be. Everybody wants to be an entertainer, they want to be an athlete, they want, but they don't really know about those other possibilities. And so I want
Yeah,
to
for
highlight
sure.
some of my friends who are doing some amazing things and, talk about these other possibilities and expose, the next generation to these possibilities. And so that's kind of the purpose of this. And so I really want to know about you as a person, though. And so we're going to get into your story. Yeah, you. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Well, I'm gonna tell you what
yeah.
it is and give it to you.
Okay. So, yeah, we're
So
going to get into your story and then your journey, and talk about how you made it to where you are right now. And
I'm gonna keep it real and hey, raw and cut and organic, baby.
please do, please do.
Do it.
Now, because I do want this to be something that we share with, school age children, middle school, high school, whatever, we're gonna try to keep it not too raw. But I mean, if a word slips out here and there, it's fine. But
Oh yeah, no, we're not doing none of that. We're good.
I'm
Hey,
just making sure.
yeah, no, hey, you gotta lay down the law first.
I mean, we all grown folks, so you never know. Grown folks speak how grown folks speak. So, um, but let's start off with your origin story. So the first section, I just want to know about your childhood. Where did you grow up? What was your family life like? And then, if there were any like pivotal experiences that kind of shaped how your life went,
Oh,
starting
for
when
sure.
you were young.
Well, my name is Joe Anderson, Joseph Anderson. I go by Joe Philly. Just had that name since I think sometime as a teenager. We wanted to come up with our mafia names,
Nice.
our Godfather names. So that's just I don't know. My middle name's Philip, so just kind of like, oh, Joe Philly, that's it. We got it. So now everybody wanted to be a G when we were kids. So growing up in Southern California,
Okay,
um,
what area in Southern Cal?
I was born in Santa Ana,
Mm-hmm.
Santana, and then
Santana.
yeah. So I was put into the foster care system. I was actually adopted.
Mm.
So after I was a baby, and I think I was adopted around like 4 or something like that. I don't really remember much before that, but or you know, um, and yeah. So when I got adopted, my parents then divorced. So it was like like, why did you adopt me and then you divorced? So they got a divorce, like probably like when I was 5 or something like that. My sisters were all older. So my parents that adopted me were older because my sisters were already grown by the time I was
Mm.
adopted, you know. And so then once they divorced, they both got remarried within like 5 years after that, somewhere. And my mother, she was like a single parent. She moved to Garden Grove. Um, so they had a place in Westminster, which is, I don't know if you're familiar with the area, but it's Orange County. And
Hmm.
then when they split, my dad sold the house, and my mother moved to Garden Grove. It's pretty hood over where I was at, on Beach and Garden Grove Boulevard. Um, I mean, it's still Orange County though, you know what I'm saying? But it's
Hmm.
pretty, it's pretty little place, a lot of immigrants, we got little Saigon right there, a lot of Hispanic immigrants, people doing sweatshops in the garage, in our little garage. We had a 1 bedroom apartment, and just trying to make it. She was just trying to make it, and she got remarried. He came into the picture, my stepfather. Um, then after that, probably about, I don't know, when I was 10 or 11, something like that, we moved back. We moved back to Santa Ana.
Okay.
So yeah, so we moved
So
to
most of your
Santa Ana.
formative years were in Santa Ana.
Yeah, so the my beginning years were in Garden Grove. The teen Getting into the teenage years, kind of like 11, 12 ish, somewhere in there, I'm thinking. And then boom, moved to Santa Ana.
Okay.
So yeah, so grew up there, for like junior high, high school. Um, Went to a lot of different high schools. I was just a bad, excuse me, I was just a bad kid, so like I got kicked out of like
Now, see, that's something that I
all the little
really do
schools.
caution against is labeling kids bad because often
Yeah,
kids do things because they don't know what else to do. They're acting out, they're looking for attention, they're looking for acceptance, they're trying to fit in. And so sometimes they do things that aren't necessarily the best decisions, but it is
for
what it
sure. Yeah. So I was a kid though. That's
is.
the
Yeah,
whole
that's my
point. So
point.
you're a kid and you're just doing whatever you do,
Right, right,
so
right.
when you don't have any direction or any guidance or much going on at home or whatever, you tend to just do whatever you do. And that's what I did. But other people didn't like it. So I'm getting kicked out of this school, get kicked out of that school, that one, this one. I think I went to 5 high school. Um, so when I was around, I don't know, let's say 17, I was at I got kicked out of my final school, right? And that's around the time that my father ended up, he opened a business when I was 15, but he
Hmm.
ended up like getting some really big contracts and like really making millions of dollars,
Mm.
so I was like 17. So he was like, oh well, I'm tired of paying child support, I'm going to send him to military school. So I got sent to the East Coast in Virginia to a military school for my senior year. Ended up graduating. I did good in school. Like I got really good grades. I'm smart, So
Right.
um, I did good in class, and I played sports. I played football. I wrestled, stuff like that. Basketball. Uh, and I like to do music even since I was like 12, being out in the streets and stuff. And in that time, the Chronic and uh NWA and all that, all that stuff was coming out, and it's like, this is me. I love this. He was, like Dr. Dre, Snoop came out, boom, then you got Warren G and all that, you're like, man, this is, and
That
I'm
West
here in
Coast G
Cali
folk.
where this is happening, like,
Right.
you know, so we're actually like meeting people, and like I love to network, and I was a people person, so I love to be out there networking, talking to people, trying to make things happen and shake and just whatever, and that I
Okay,
kind of found
so
a niche, you know.
I was about to say, because I met you through social media, actually. You hit me up and
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like, let's work together or what have you, right?
Yeah.
How did you actually end up doing music though? Because you said that you went to boarding school or you were sent off to military school. How did you end up back in California doing music?
Okay, so I was doing music before that.
Okay.
So when I was my my best friend, actually the place that I'm at, my best friend's house since kindergarten, right? He was a
Mm.
DJ. So
Ah,
he had all the new music, like all the new stuff, everything, all the new CDs. Every time they would come out, he'll buy it. He'll buy it. So he had like those big old black square cases that had like hundreds in it, like 200 or
yeah,
something. Yeah,
yeah.
like 10 of those. Those were like his crates. And so and we just that was our thing. That's why we got along so good because we used to just love music and listening to the new, buying all the new everything that came out, everything that we thought, oh, that might be, let's check that. Oh yeah, that looks cool. Boom, we'll buy it.
Hmm.
So, so being in the neighborhood, I guess, we got clicked up with people out there, and we used to break dance, put the cardboard out on the,
Nice.
on the grass. Like we had a little crew, we were break dancing, we were
What was the
tagging
name of your
everybody.
crew?
One hit of quitters.
One hit.
Yeah. Man, we were the coolest. Man, we're the best. So we were killing them out. We were really getting it in. Man. Windmills, flares, head spins, all that stuff. You ask anybody back then, we were doing that. But I was breakdancing when I was like 4, 5, 6, 7. In the middle of Christmas, all the family is there. I'm in the middle of the floor breakdancing. I
So
don't
you
even know
always
why.
wanted to be the center of attention.
That's it. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. I just needed like way extra attention. They were tired. They were sick of me. Yeah. So
Okay, so
that's
you
kind
and
of
your
how that
friend,
started
you had
out.
your
So
crew. Your friend
yeah,
was the DJ, and so
and
you just
I
what?
started rapping.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So I figured out how to rap. I don't know. I just listened to I caught it and then just started flowing. And then I don't know, 13, 14, I was rapping. And I was spitting, but they were like, everybody else were, ooh, he's got bars. Like,
Okay.
all right, so you have the little circles, everybody's flowing. We're you know just passing little 16s around, and it just kind of grew from there. So when my dad started making money, he bought me a computer.
Mhm.
He's like, you need a computer. So I found out that I could get some programs that I could record on. We were
Mhm.
doing tapes back before. And we were recording into the pagers, freestyling onto the pagers. We were having rap beefs on, like people. We were literally fighting because this guy clowned me on a. I heard it on a pager, then I go back and talk my stuff, and
Young
boom,
rap
these were on
beef.
pagers.
Wow.
Little voicemails on the pagers. Yeah. So we started rap beefs like that. And my pager always was blowing up. People just listening to the song. So, but then I learned how to record, on tape. And then I learned how to record into the computer. And that was kind of it. It was over after that. After I learned how to track out, and the quality wasn't that great, but it was great for the pagers. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
like we were tracking it out. We were having girls sing, hey, come in and sing. They couldn't even sing, but they were singing. And like, oh, we had the little dude, like the little suave dude. Oh man, he was singing in Spanish. Like it was dope. It was fun times. I wish I had all those old
So,
recordings, but it just grew from there. So then when I went to the East Coast, you know, and that was more over there. There were some black people. There were some Mexican people, some white people, just Asians, all in Santa Ana. You know how it is, Orange
it's
County. It's
mixed
kind
out
of
there, yeah.
it's just a mixed melting pot. There's not
Hmm.
a large like black influence in Santa Ana at the
Hmm.
time. There was a couple neighborhoods, where and those were the homies too. Like we'll go over there, chop it up with them, and kick it with them. But as far as like hip hop, it was more like more uh Latin rappers, and then we had a couple black homies that were like, they were with it. So
Mm-hmm.
they were like, they were the stars, they're the rappers, shit, so they were rapping. But then when I went to the East Coast, everybody was black.
Mm.
My whole like it was like a whole new, like, whoa, everybody, okay, all right, what's going on here? I was in Virginia, North
Okay.
Virginia. So
So you found yourself
so it was a
being in
whole
a different
so I had the
environment there,
computer.
huh?
Yeah, I had the computer with me. I already had made, like, I don't know, by that time, hundreds of beats, that I chopped up, sampled, and made beats. And then when I got there, it was like, oh, I found some new talent. Like, there's some real life, like, they were doing go-go out there,
Yeah.
like they were doing the drum stuff.
That's
And
DMV, right?
so I was sampling that, and it went crazy after that. So I found some artists from out there on the East Coast. They were spitting like New York style bars, and then they had some Atlanta cats out there, and then some, and most of them were from like other like big cities, and then
Mm-hmm.
they had parents that were, either wealthy or they wanted to get them out of the hood, so they sent them. So they were all just reform kids.
Mm.
But they were all smart, and they all had pretty good, parents, stuff like that. But I was the guy. I was producing, like I was recording them all, and we were dropping songs, and like, and then it was getting out over there, and then they would send it home, and it kind of made a little buzz, And then I graduated. I moved back to California, um, and I didn't really have anywhere to go. So, I mean, to my mother, I was a problem. I was a problem child. So,
Mm.
and then my father was like, "Yeah, right. You aren't coming to the mansion." He had a nice house in
Mm.
the hills in Orange, like in equestrian, like all the way at the top of Chapman. Like, it was like, no, you're not. I know what you're gonna bring over here, drama and stuff like that. So I went and lived with my friend, which was my friend Jared. So it worked out. I got in
That's
trouble.
interesting. So you had already kind of had a buzz doing the music, and then when you got
Yeah,
out to the East Coast, you met a new batch of people and really started getting professional with it, recording them and sending out stuff, right? But then you come back home and it's like, okay, now what?
yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
it kind of turned me into a nomad. So I'm like, ooh, I love my people over here on the East Coast. My
Mm-hmm.
people over here, and then I had friends in San Diego. I had
Mm-hmm.
friends in Arizona, and some friends in like Vegas and stuff, but all over Southern California. And we kind of made a name back. We kind of kept it going, just writing letters and making calls, and just people just started growing, and it kind of built, it built a buzz, and it kind of built something. And then when I came back, my friend was still DJing.
Uh-huh.
So I just rode that wave, and he was DJing at some weddings and some other place, like, just random places. But I'll pop up and I'll ask the host. Like, I was kind of rude, but hey, can I get on the mic?
Wherever
that's
there's a
that's
mic,
the
Joe
little
Philly
kid
wanted the
in me
mic.
trying to be in the middle of the spotlight again, right? Wanting
Yes.
all the attention. I was 18. I was like, I'm just trying to get my name out there. Then I bought a CD recorder. So this was like in 98. So they didn't really have those. It's
Mm-hmm.
the first one that came out. It was like a manual CD burner, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like it was made by Philips, and it had one deck, and you put the CD in, and then we recorded on the computer and on tapes,
Right.
right? So then we would run it into make sure the levels were good. And we did so much testing that it was like, dang, I feel like this was all analog. There was no computer programs. I had to like build it in the computer, like it wasn't a
Mm-hmm.
program that actually recorded that way. Nothing
Now
was
the
even,
AI can just level everything for you, but back then you actually had to go by hand, do
no,
every
there wasn't
work.
even a DAW yet.
Oh, not even a okay.
I was layering in the computer by putting another track and using tape and the computer to like build it. It was
So
like,
kind of like
wasn't
going back and forth with it.
from there to that. Yeah, from a tape player to the computer to, and then bringing it back and forth. So I was recording back and forth, but I figured out how to track it.
That's dope.
It was weird, but the sound was coming out great
Where
because
there's a will, there's a
I
way.
tried to figure it. Yeah, I tried to figure it out. There was no effects. There was like flange, the little, when there was
Yeah.
that. There was a reverse. There was like maybe a reverb, a kind of a reverb that you could do on there. It was a weird effect, but there was no effects. There was nothing. So we just had to level it, figure that out, boom, and then we could mix it and bounce it together, and then we move it to the CD player and burn it. And we made we were man, we were selling CDs like crazy. We'd print them out, get them printed. I had a guy that did club flyers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he would print club flyers. So he had like the best. His name was Guy. It was an Asian dude, right?
Asian dude named Guy.
His name was Guy. He worked at
Okay.
luxury on Beach Boulevard at Luxury Imports, which we're like, yeah, we want a Benz when we grow up. Like when we get a little older, we're gonna get a Benz, right? So Guy was our guy, but he also did club promotion. So he was a smart Asian dude, and he like super smart. He knew how to do the graphic design. This was back then,
Mm-hmm.
you know, graphics, but like super those fire club flyers that were like glossy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So he only could print them in certain sizes. So we figured out how to just get them and then cut them, like put the design right there. Don't worry about that white part. Cut them and then slip them into the CD thing.
So
Boom.
you
And
made
then
your own covers pretty much.
we're out, and they look professional,
Yeah.
And I mean, the music wasn't, the mixes weren't that great at all, like nothing like studio quality or nothing, but they were out there, and people were listening and they knew what we were saying, and it's just, so that's kind of how we built it from there on
Nice.
that's on the music stuff. It went a
Okay,
lot.
so let's talk about that though, because as I
It
know,
went a
as
lot
an
further
artist,
than that, Brooklyn. A lot further, huh?
no, I was just going to say, as an artist, I know that sometimes it's kind of hard to do it by yourself. And so I'm just wondering, what was it that you guys did that kind of took it to that next level?
Well, at that time, I okay, so well, okay, I got locked up when I was like 18, right?
Let's
I
talk
got
about it. I mean, it happens. It
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, no,
And I really appreciate you just saying that because often,
yeah,
as people are going through things, they feel like their life is over when something like that happens. And so you are a testament that nah, it's not over. Sometimes you go through
I'm
things,
not.
but it's part of your story. So go ahead.
It gets better, but um, it gets better. So I did a little bit in the county, nothing big, nothing major. I was 18, got out, went to work selling electronics at Robinson's May, right in the mall. I
Mm.
like people. I'm like, oh, retail people, mall, girls, boom, boom, boom. Perfect. Right. So I was selling electronics. There was a phone department in there. So they just came out with cell phones, these big old block things, right?
Yeah, the block phones. I
They're like
remember those.
they're,
My
they're
mom
like
had
this,
one.
they're like this big from Sprint, right? Sprint just came out with these big, huge block phones. Well, now I'm selling these things and it's like buy one, get one free, $100, right? But they get you obviously on the minutes, but we didn't know. We were kids. We're like, buy one, get one free. Okay, minutes. Okay, we can only do that. First incoming minute free. So I went and I bought one, and then I gave my friend one because I got a free one, right? So we're on the
Hmm.
same plan. So he runs it up. The first bill is like $1,000.
Oh
The girls are calling in, and I'm like, oh, you got 5 seconds. All right, bye. Boom. First minute, hang up. All right, call me back. First minute free. Like, well, that's how we were cheap. We didn't have money like that. So,
Got to work it out. Like I'm
but
saying.
he ran the phone up. He just started calling people. Like he was on the phone. Like for the first month, we were balling, and then we didn't have a phone after that. We could thousand
These
dollar. We
kids don't
could
know nothing about minutes. Got to pay for the minutes.
Yeah. So there was a girl that I met at the mall. We ended up dating a little bit. She got pregnant. We got married. Well, she got pregnant, and then I left to boot camp. I told her dad, look, I'm going to go to boot camp. I'm going to the military, going to the Marine Corps. I got a waiver for that little thing had to do in jail, whatever.
Right.
And then the day I got out of boot camp, out of San Diego, MCRD, you've been there.
Mm-hmm.
So I graduated. I was skinny, walking down skinny as hell. I get out of boot camp the day after I got married.
That's dope.
So I
Wow.
got married the day after, and then me and her just we were married for 10 years. So I was stationed in San Diego, met a whole bunch of rappers down there, and we started a group called Castlevania. We ended up winning the 2002 San Diego Music Awards for Best Hip Hop Group.
Dope, dope.
Jewel was there, POD, Jason Mraz, like all these people were like winning when we were winning. Like they weren't
Mm-hmm.
big yet.
Right.
They were in our same boat, right?
Came up with you, right.
Yeah, in different genres,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's like, man, I look back like that's Jewel. That was Jewel. Jewel was there on the stage with us. That's Jewel. That's Jason Mraz. Like POD, they're huge now. So we knew we had talent. And
Mm-hmm.
at that time, Death Row just broke up, right?
Mm.
So Death Row just broke up. Dre left. It's just Suge and what's his name? Um what's the dude's name that was locked up? Michael Harry O.
Okay, you gonna get me to calling out. I don't know.
Okay, so Michael Harris, Harry O, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, he's gone, but it's just him and Suge now. They got Death Row, right? So Death Row
Mhm.
starts blowing us up, like, hey, come sign with Death Row, and we're like, that's Death Row, but wait, what's something not right? Tupac does
Yeah.
this, all this stuff, right? And we're like, this Suge Knight, he's just gonna bully us, right? That's what we're thinking. Like this, we want to sign. No, man, we're good with pass. Like we're not doing all that, right? And so that's what we're thinking. We're like, man, we ain't doing all that. So we just kept making music, doing shows, and going around doing shows. Now, I got one of the artists. His name's Eternal. He was like the he was like the CEO of the entertainment company, and
Okay.
he's like the main artist, and he produced too, him and it's not a guy named Steve Vicious down in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
So those two kind of were the main guys of the group at the time. I was just producing and like managing and promoting. Trying to.
Okay,
I
so you
wasn't
kind of started
an
doing the behind the
artist
scenes
on the
stuff.
group. Yeah, yeah, exactly. But we were moving. We were getting them shows. We were getting them out there. Boom, they were doing good. It was like 7 battle rappers. All we just grabbed up all the baddest battle rappers and threw them all together and called it Castlevania. And they're just slaughtering, like going through killing vampires and just it was so Castlevania. That was kind of the whole, premise behind it. Um, yeah, after I got
No
out, I moved
concept.
back to Orange County.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so in San Diego is where I found out that there's huge professional studios you can pay for, and you can go in. See, we didn't know none
You
of that.
didn't know that. Okay.
We didn't know that. My mother actually was like, "Hey, I met this guy at church. He has a studio, and he makes good like the music. His music sounds really good. You should check it out." So she actually booked my first studio session. I went in, so this guy's from church, right? And now I'm going in and
Uh-huh.
I'm going like I'm gangster rapper Joe, like I'm going in, So he was like, yeah, I like his music, he's really good. He just says all kinds of crazy stuff, right? That's what he told my mom. Like, hey, I had a CD now. I had a good I had like 5-track demo and it was
A nice
banging, like it
engineered.
was like,
Yeah,
yeah, it was
yeah.
mixed, mastered, like it was fire. So that's what I had made me a show disc. So then I started doing shows. I started going around doing shows. I did a show in, so I did a show in San Diego. Um, I was working with this group, 5,000 Block, you know,
Mm.
and So I was working with them, and they brought me in. So I get on stage. It's Mitchy Slick, me, um, this guy named Don Diego. This is in San Diego. So a bunch of bloods from San Diego, and I get up, I kill it, and I have my group with me, and we kill
Uh-huh.
it. We kill it, and I get off stage, and then Don Diego gets up on stage and he says, "White people are the enemy." It's in San Diego, Southeast. It's the hood. And the club was live. It was just packed wall to wall. Mitchy Slick was kind of hot at the time, and I was his 5,000 block was a offshoot of the Wrong Kind. So that's like his group.
Oh, okay.
So that was Rico, Reeknut, Cuddy, all them. 3 Cent was producing, and so we went, and I was working with them, and they put me on with Mitchy Slick, and we got on stage and just rocked the show. Don Diego, he came up. I think he's doing life in prison now. Shout
Oh
out to Don
no.
Diego. Shout out to Don Diego. But yeah, so I'm on stage. I killed it. He gets up there. White people are the enemy, and
With
I'm
you?
like looking around, like, what the hell, boy? I think it was. I think you were hating on Diego. It's all good. I did kill it though. But it was great. It was a great show. I had a lot of good times with them, and that was when I was in San Diego. I was in the Marine Corps at the time. So
Right, right, right.
yeah,
Okay, so after the service, what were you able to do then?
I bounced. So I went back
Right?
to Orange County. I got out. September 11th happened. I was in.
So you got out before then or right after that?
No, it was after, but there was a stop loss, so I had to stay in like 6 months longer
Just
because
in case they
there
needed
was
you.
there was some war, and yeah, we went into Iraq and then
Yeah.
Afghanistan. It was both of them going on like right there, boom. So a lot of my unit deployed to Afghanistan. Some of them deployed to Iraq. So
Wow.
and I was like right in the middle of it. um, I I was already out. Like I already did my first four, and I was
Mm-hmm.
already trying to get out because the music was popping. I'm like, I'm gonna get out. I got stuff to do, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And so I stayed another extra like 3 months. My mother passed away at that
Wow.
right in that time, right. So my mother passed away right on like 2 months after I was supposed to get out, and then we were on a 6 month like kind of stop loss type thing.
So you were supposed to be home then.
I went home.
Okay.
Okay, that's even crazier. So we were on stop loss, but it was the weekend. It was a Saturday. We
Mm-hmm.
were working in the warehouse, and my sister calls me and she's like, "Hey, it's time. You got it." She had cancer, so she was on hospice anyway.
Okay.
So she called me and she's like, "Hey, it's time." Like I would go up there on the weekends with,
Mm-hmm.
it was my wife and my
If
two
you're close.
daughters.
Yeah.
And yeah, and we would just drive up there on the weekends and go see her and take care of her and stuff like that. But my sister called, "Hey, it's time," and I'm like, "Oh, it's time. All right, I, I'm gonna get out of here as soon as possible." So right, so I'm like, "Hey, Top, I gotta go. My mother's
Mm.
about to pass away." They're like, "Yeah, whatever." Like this guy's just trying to get out of weekend duty in the warehouse with the whole. It was like a big thing. We were doing like an inventory. It was kind
Okay.
of like a big thing at the time. Like the whole unit was in there and everything, and it was like, so we were putting packs together for like war, and it was just like
Yeah.
it was kind of like an important thing, but it was kind of more important. I'll come back. I just gotta, go
Let me
and
go
see.
check on mine. And they knew that
I
she was ill, right?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the staff sergeant wasn't trying to let me go, at, at the time. Um, So I'm like, I gotta go. I'm about to burn off, you guys. I'm telling you, I'm about to burn. I'm just about to go. You guys,
No,
you're not hearing me.
AWOL, don't do it.
I called my sister. I said, they're really not trying to let me go, but I'm about to go. She's like, give me 1 second. She called the Red Cross. So the Red Cross called the unit. The unit and it worked really fast. It was like 10 minutes. They're like, all right, go.
Wow.
So you guys, if you're in the military, you got some really a real serious situation, your family calls the Red Cross, just kind of
That's
out of their
game
hands.
here. Okay.
Just saying. So
Hmm.
yeah, they're like, go. So I went, got there. I walk in with I got my daughters, my wife with me. We walk in. She like she's already like kind of out, kind of like just so she opens her eyes, she sits up, she looks at me, she smiles, and then she passed away. She was waiting for me.
She was waiting on you.
Just wait.
Wow.
She was waiting on me. Yeah.
Wow. But that's
Yeah,
amazing
it's
that you
pretty
got a
much
chance to see her though. That's dope.
it was so weird. Like sat up, opened her eyes, like smiled. It was like a 5 minute in between there, but that was it. That
Yeah.
was it. And then I tried to give her mouth to mouth, and everyone's freaking out. Like
It's not over yet, no, Mom. Oh
it's
my
not
goodness.
over yet. I really tried that, and everybody's freaking out. What are you doing? Like, man. So
Yeah. But that's
so
a blessing that you were able to see her though. She waited for you. That's dope.
yeah, it's crazy. She literally waited for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Whew.
So
All right. So that was pretty heavy, but you said a couple months later you were actually released from
yeah,
service.
yeah. I got
Okay.
out. They kind of let me out. That kind of had something to do with me being able to get out at the time.
Probably. Yeah.
They're like, oh, he's kind of not stable right now. His mom just passed away. We're on stop loss, I know, but he was already supposed to be out. Hey, do you want to get out? I'm like, yeah, I want to get out. Like, all right, well, we're gonna let you out. So I honorable discharge, everything's good.
That was Mom
Um,
working on your behalf.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't trying to. I never intended to stay in. I just wanted to do it, experience, learn. I was never a lifer, never, but I wanted
Right.
to experience. And when I went in, um, I always just wanted to go to the Marine Corps because I wanted to go to the baddest branch.
You sound like my
That's because
son.
that's what I felt like. Because I went to military school, right?
Right.
So there was Army people there. There was some Air Force people there. There was some Navy people there. But the Marines, they were like, like they were
They were the
real.
badasses.
Like they were the best. Yeah, they were. So you said it. So
I'm just saying.
no, that's true. So
Hmm.
I'm like, if I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna do the, the best one that I felt at the time. So I went in the Marine Corps. My dad was like, you should go to the Air Force. I'm like, Air Force? No, I'm gonna go to the Marine Corps.
Each branch has their pros and cons, right?
Oh no, for sure, for sure. He's probably right. I should have went to the Air Force. I probably would have learned how to make airplanes or something, make something crazy. But I don't know. I just want to be a Marine. So,
Okay.
um,
So you said afterwards the music was kind of popping a little bit. And so when you got out, is that what you focused on or?
yes. So that's exactly what I focused on. And my mom left me like a couple racks, not a lot, but I think she left me like $5,000 out of some life insurance policy that she split between us and the grandkids or something. But
Hmm.
I had a litll bread when I got out. Plus, I had a little bread from her, and I'm like,
Hmm.
I'm gonna kind of chill for a minute and see what happens.
Hmm.
So I put my music foot forward, and started working on it, like putting all my time into it.
Like
And I
really
had
taking
already,
it serious.
huh?
Like really taking it serious and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So I met people that had distribution. I met some people that did clubs. I met some people that did this, and I would go out and meet people and try to. There wasn't really internet at the time like that.
Hmm.
There was, but there was no social media.
It was still pretty new back
We had
then.
like
Yeah.
Black Planet, we had Yahoo, AOL. That's about it, right? To actually like try to talk to people. Um, so there wasn't a lot of, and we were in Cali, so that was like tech central, but still we didn't have, much. Um,
Hmm.
by that time, I actually had programs now. So like, uh, New Window was one of them. Acid, you remember Acid?
I remember the name of it, but I didn't use none of that back then. Mm-mm.
Okay, so like there was Acid, and then there was another one called Digital Orchestrator Pro, and that used like
Mm.
MIDI controls and like. So I had all these. Like my friend was like a hacker bootlegger. I'll call him, hey, Acid, Acid 2.0. Oh, okay, here you go. I got it for you. Just when you come to Orange County, pick it up. All
That's
right,
dope.
cool.
That's dope.
Yeah, he was like the he had a website back then called OC Soul, which was like,
Mm.
but it was like this guy was like he hacked to the FBI. He did all kinds of stuff. He got locked up for it. Like they wanted him to come work because he really was that guy, you know. Give
Wow.
me anything. Oh, hey, I heard about this program called Vegas Video and Photoshop and all these little. I heard about this program. Oh yeah, I got it.
Yeah, go find it.
It's it. He didn't have
That's
it
that
all.
genius, that hidden genius that they don't want us to know that's
Man,
existing in the hood, right?
we didn't even know. Yeah, we didn't even. I didn't even know. Like I had access to all this stuff that no one had, and for free. You know.
Wow.
Oh, I got you all the passwords. Here's all the passwords and the codes and sometimes he would have to, hey, bro, can you come put this in there? Because I don't even know how to do that. He'll come put it in. And yeah, that's
That's
crazy. He would
dope.
control my computer from his house. Like, what? You're controlling my
Yeah.
computer from your house? Yeah. So with nothing, right?
That's dope. Okay, so you talked about what you were doing then. You get out, you start taking it serious. What would you say would be your greatest accomplishment to date in the music industry?
I would say working with Universal.
Okay, let's hear
You
more
know,
about that.
so I was engineering, um, doing some engineering, doing some other stuff for Who Banging, which is my friend's name. His name's Flossie. He was the president at the time of Who Banging, which is like Mac 10's record label.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I got a lot of artists signed to the label. I was promoting at the time, um, doing like concert promotions, and I was doing concert promotions with you name it, whoever you can think of. But I worked with a guy named Monster.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty notorious out there in Southern California. So uh, I worked with a lot of promoters. Danny Boy, I worked with Monster, I worked with Skip, I worked with Lamongo, just a lot of different promoters and stuff like that. We would partner up and do events and crazy behind the scenes. I'll tell you that was money and stuff like that. But
You
and how
froze
the
a
money
little
was
bit.
flowing
There you
in.
go.
Oh, good. I'm glad I froze. Maybe, yeah. Maybe I was
Maybe that
supposed
was
to
your
freeze.
hint. Okay, don't say that.
Yeah. So, well, anyway, so we were doing shows and concerts and stuff like that, but my heart was still in to the music,
Hmm.
and we did end up doing there was a group that I used to, well, it was an entertainment company called Blunt Entertainment. They were out of like the Valley, or not the Valley. Well, they're from the Valley, but they lived up in what is that the Antelope Valley, right?
Oh,
That's
like Lancaster,
yeah,
Palmdale
like
area.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So
Okay.
they lived up there, and we partnered up with them to do an event, a J. Cole event down in Orange County, right? But
Okay.
it kind of so we booked it twice so that he would go to LA first with one of our guys that was funding it. His name was Lamongo, and then the next one will be in Orange County. So he'll go there, and then he'll go over here and do that. So we double booked him. But
Hmm.
I guess when after LA, he just like, I'm not going to Orange County.
Oh, that sucks.
And we already paid him, right? So
Oh.
now we're in the now but if you actually looked at it in hindsight, so he didn't show up, but the place was packed. We had this place was so packed. I think there was like 1,000 people there,
Okay.
at this little club in Orange County,
Hmm.
right? And so the group that the people that financed the show or that pretty much paid J. Cole he didn't show up. So, and then the people that were there, they were like ready to riot, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So my boy, he's like, "Hey, Big U, can you send me a couple of your artists over here? We need to do something.
I need somebody, right?
I got them. Bring somebody." All right. So Nipsey comes. It was Nipsey.
Oh,
It was
wow.
Nipsey and the Dog Pound. And
Oh, the people wasn't mad after that then.
well, no, they didn't know Nipsey.
No, I know that, but the dog pound you said came through, right?
Yeah. But and they were like cool, but it was like they paid for J. Cole. So we're like, you know what? If anybody wants their money back, just go get your money back.
Mm-hmm.
That we should have said that though.
I
But
know. Why you say that? Mm.
that was lame, right? But you know, but that's what ended up happening. So a lot of people just bounced, they dipped, and they got their money back and bounced. But then we had like Corrupt and Daz, both of them,
I'm thinking people would have been happy to have the dog pound there,
and and Nip.
Yeah,
Nipsey,
but
but
like
no
you
one
said,
knew.
Nip was still
But at the
coming up
time,
though. But
no one knew who he was. You know,
yeah,
even though he was killing it, and we were in the back like, man, this dude's killing it. Like, man, that's Nip. All right, yeah, he's. Whew. But they didn't know. We were ahead of the game, but they didn't know. You know, so the
yeah.
crowd was like, "Who is this guy?" Like,
The public is always behind. They don't
you
catch
know,
on till the media tell them to catch on.
yeah. But when we look back at it, we're like, man, they. So J. Cole would have just showed up, maybe done a song, or just popped up and said hi.
Right. Did his
You
appearance or
know,
whatever.
it was really just
Mm.
appearance. You know what I'm saying? But he was like, man, I'm not doing. He's like, I'm not doing that. They're gonna want me to perform. Yeah, I'm good. I'm not going
So
over
I
there.
hope
So
y'all learn
after
your lesson.
LA,
Don't pay him everything up front. Like what the what? That's crazy.
he was just the hot. He was the hottest thing at the time. You
No,
know,
I
so
get it, but you don't get the rest of your money till you actually show up. Like what the
oh
heck?
no, we ended up getting everything back, but it just looked really bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I guess so the people that paid for that were pissed because they didn't get their return on their investment, right?
Hmm.
So I ended up going to work for them just because I felt bad.
You kind of have to make it up to him.
I had to make it up to them. And I'm like, you know
Mm.
what? You guys are trying to do music. I seen what you do. You have a cool group and it's cool, but let me come and step your game up and help you. I just feel like I owe that to you. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
I went over there and started working with. I was there a year, just working with them, just building them up, trying to get them right, get the sound right, get the mixes right, working with Universal and getting them deals and distribution, and then they end up signing the Who Bang in, which was and then they did well. They went on tour with some of the big a lot. They opened up for a lot of the big artists. They went out and did a tour with a couple other big artists, and um, I think that whole time frame, the music, that's probably what I say is like the as far as if you judge it by the industry standards, that was probably
Hmm.
my time.
The most
So,
notoriety or what have you.
yeah, exactly. So I guess that would probably be my claim to fame, that whole era, right? I think it was like 2010 to 2012 or something like that, somewhere in there.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Now,
nothing major or nothing, just it was fun though.
so I met you a few years back, like I said, via social media,
Yeah.
and you reached out and, wanted to do a couple of songs. And so we've done a couple of collaborations on your projects. And you are just a really commendable, incredible guy. Like, I really just appreciate your friendship. You are who you are. Like, it don't matter where, when I came to the East Coast, we met up out there. Every time you come back home to
Yeah,
Cali,
twice,
about
right?
it. I'm just saying, yeah. That's my
Yeah.
whole point. And it's just like you don't necessarily find people who are true to their word and do what they say. You know what I'm saying? And so I appreciate that about you. But one thing I didn't know was that you were a truck driver. Truck. The last time I came out, I saw you in the truck. I was like, look at Joe Philly, willing and dealing. That was just dope to me. And so, how the hell did you end up doing truck driving in the middle of all of this other stuff that was going on?
This is a story, but I'm going to tell it. So in 2017, I was trying to become rich, like super rich, anything, nothing else matters. So, right, I was doing shady stuff. And, I ended up going to Atlanta with some birds right? And the feds set me up and they
Oh
busted me over there.
no.
And yeah, I ended up doing 3 years in prison in Coastal, which is in Savannah, Georgia.
Mm,
So I did my time, got out, and when I got out, I paroled out to my brother's house in West Texas.
okay.
So he's like, just come through. We're gonna do whatever we got to do. So when I get there, my other friend Mike, all day, shout out to Mike all day. He's like, here, Joe, here's a Hummer. I want you to come manage my nightclub. It's the hottest thing out right now. I'm like, all right, bet, right? So I go over there, I start managing the nightclub, and I've done that, managed nightclubs, I've owned nightclubs, I've done all that. So it was nothing. I stepped right in, boom, 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 started raising numbers, and then my brother was like, hey, bro, you gotta slow down. You're like getting right back into the lifestyle, like. I'm like,
Mm,
oh, I know, but I'm just, I'm trying to do what I know how to do. He's like, no, man, that ain't it. And then I went to report to my parole officer, and he was like, how's work? What's going on? I'm like, oh, work's great. I'm just, where do you work? Oh, you work there. I'm sorry, you can't work in that industry, right? Like, you can't be anywhere around alcohol. You can't be out. You're on parole.
mm,
Like, what are you thinking? Like, I'm like, yeah, but I'm managing it. I'm doing a good job. I have opportunity here. And that's really what I've been doing the last 10 years, right? So he's like, nah, you ain't doing that. I'm like, all right. Hmm, let me think about this, right? So now I'm back. I'm with my brother. I mean, I wasn't even there much because it was like an hour away to go to work. So
okay.
and my friend had a big, huge RV, and like I'll just stay there on the weekends and then just go back over there for a couple of days, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then because
So the
my
weekend you
parole was
back at
out of
the
there.
club, right?
Yeah, but then I'd be back over there and just doing my thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and my kids were down there too, so I'd do that on the weekends. I would go and work, and then after I got off in the morning, I'd go and see my kids, spend time with them during the day, then go back to you know going back over and doing that. So
Mm-hmm.
so after he was like, it's done, it's over with, you ain't doing that no more. I'm like, all right, I got to find something to do. And I got to get out of here. I'm not going to live with somebody my whole life. I just got to get off of this paper, right? So
Yeah.
I had like 6 months after I got out. I had like 6 months that I had to be on paper, and that was around the 3 month time. And then
Mm-hmm.
Chuck, our other brother, so my brother Rock and his brother Chuck, Chuck was like, "Hey, you could drive trucks. You want to drive trucks? I drive trucks." I'm like, it sounds cool, but like, what do you got to do? I don't really know anything. He's like, all right, so you can go to the school in Dallas, which is what I did. I went to a school in Dallas, a truck driving school. It's called KLLM, uh, Truck Driving Academy, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
went over there. All I did is I applied online. I went over there. It's $4,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if they had so, but if you work for them for a year, they don't charge you anything, right? So they put you up in a room, a hotel room. It was like a Best Western. They shuttle you to the school, and then once a room, like a dorm room in the school opens, then they put you in this dorm in the school. They give you money for like random whatever spending money.
Like a per diem type of thing.
Like the first week they give you a card with like $500 on it. So you're like,
Oh.
all right, I got some money in my pocket to spend. Like toiletries, just random stuff. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You're there, you're out there, so they're giving you money, and then they're paying for your room, and then they have food all day, like a buffet, breakfast, lunch, dinner. You don't have to worry about anything. So you're just there learning how to drive the truck.
Mm-hmm.
So I go, um, I move out. Well, I don't really move out. I just go to start school. Um, and then it's 3 weeks. You get the first week. After the first week, you get your like learner's permit
Mm-hmm.
for CDL. I don't know what it's called. It's probably called a commercial learning permit. That's what I think it's called.
Okay,
But
to get your
but I
commercial
but I
driver's
but I
license
made
though.
that up. But
Mm-hmm.
that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get that, then they start they put you in their trucks in their yard with their trailers, and you jump in there, and then they teach you, all right, pull up, pull back, turn left, turn right, just the regular stuff. Then they teach you how to turn the trailer, then parallel park the trailer, then move the trailer to different spots in the yard, and they just start getting you really familiar with it. After those 3 weeks, they take you out. Oh, they're taking you out like 3 times a week, and you go and drive around like with an instructor with like 3 people in the back, sitting there, and we just all switch up. They pull over here, and then they just take us around, and then we drive. We get comfortable with actually driving it on the road and on the highway, and boom. And then at the end, we have to learn all the systems in the truck, all the brake systems, the engine, all the little parts and the pieces, and what this is and what that is, and how to inspect it and do it's called a pre-trip inspection. So before you start actually going on the road, you have to do a pre-trip and check everything. Once your pre-trip's done, then you can start driving. That's an everyday thing. Every 24 hours, you got to do it. So after the 3 weeks, you go and you take an actual driving test with the DMV or DPS out there. It's DPS in Texas. That's where I was. So you start driving. They'll tell you do this, do that, turn your blinker on, go right, go left. Just like a regular driving test, but you're in a truck. And then you have to go and do backing stuff, like, all right, back in a straight line, all right, move from here to here, in between the cones, parallel park, do all that. Once you do all that, you pass, you take one more little written test, and then give you your CDL. Once you get your CDL, then they pair you with a trainer, and you go on the road for 6 weeks with a trainer, and you go just all over the US, just terminal to terminal, just all over.
So the trainer is kind of like you're doing an on-the-job training where you're riding with them on jobs or something, or?
Yeah. So for men, they put men in men's and women with women, and then they pair us up, and then we just go on the road doing actual deliveries, with a trainer. So we're going terminal to terminal from Atlanta up to Rocky Mountain. Remember, I tell you, I'm over here, I'm all the way over here, now I'm over here. So yeah, we have terminals all over the US. So the trainer will drive, and then he'll let you drive, and then you drive, and then the trainer drives. The trainer's sitting shotgun the whole time when you're driving. All right, go here, do this, try that. Okay, do this. And he's just telling you how to, and then you're getting used to actually driving a long time and getting a feel for it. And then he's taking you into the truck stops and showing you how to actually park, because you learn it in school, but when you get out there and you're trying to park a trailer between 2 trucks, a big old trailer, it's like the first year, it's like that. Like trying to okay. Once you get a hang of it, it's over. You're good. You're just whoop whoop. You're in there, but
you can dip after a while. But that first time,
until for a year, you're not gonna know how to do this. You're gonna be trying to pull through. The little pull through. But you gotta learn how to do that. So that's kind of the process of how I was able to do it and create an opportunity. I didn't need a place to live. The truck is huge. It's big. It's like a tiny home, right? You got beds in there. You got a refrigerator. You got TV. You got microwave. What else do you need, right? And you're getting paid.
That's dope.
So what I did is I cut off all liabilities. I didn't pay any. I'm like, you know what? All liabilities are gone, right? Robert Kiyosaki, right? I'm like, yeah, shout out to Robert. So I cut off all everything that I had to pay was gone. All the subscriptions, all of this, all of that, car note, everything gone, right? And I cut it off and went to work.
Just self-contained in the truck.
Yeah. And then COVID hit. Right?
Oh man.
Whoa, we're essential, right? So we were working. I never missed one day. Not one
That's
day.
interesting. So for truck drivers, you guys actually started making more during that time.
No, it slowed down because
Oh,
people weren't
okay.
going out as much. So it was still what I'm doing frozen food, so I was hauling like refrigerated box units, you know. So
Okay.
so that's what I would haul, you know, everywhere. So it kind of slowed down, like this because stores closed, right?
Right. That's what I was
Like it was
thinking.
only really like Walmart. There's a couple of grocery stores that sale, but some of them closed, and the mom and
Hmm.
pop stuff they closed, you know.
Definitely all the mom and
So
pops
it's
did. Yeah.
yeah, so it's really like I would say it slowed down to like 70% from 100 down to 70. But that's when I got asked, "Hey, do you want to go?" And as I was driving, you know, to like New Jersey and back and forth throughout the country, Pennsylvania kept calling my name. It was just so
Mm.
beautiful. Every time I would drive by, I would say, "Joe," and I'm, "What? Oh, wow, this place is beautiful. Look at all this green. This is like the greenest green ever. I'm coming here sometime. I want to come visit." I started looking up Amish people and like, why is this place so nice, right?
Uh-huh.
As you would travel down like 80 and you'd see these rock formations that were just like, this is weird. This is like another world out here, right? So I got called to help out at a meat plant distribution plant called Cargill, right?
Mm.
When I was sitting in New Jersey waiting for a load for like a whole week because they didn't have any work at the time. It was slow, and you know, New York was shut down. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
crazy, right? This was during Rona, and I got a call like, "Hey, you want to come help us out in Pennsylvania at this meat plant?" You know, we need some extra drivers over here. It's really busy over here. I'm like, sure, I would love to work. Right. So I go out there and I get there, and then like when I'm pulling up, I look to my left and it's like this, like it looked like a Hillshire Farms commercial. That's how I describe it. The valley was like green with like farmland, but it was like a picture. Like it was just
Just
so
rolling
beautiful.
hills and
And then I keep
beautiful.
going. There's this huge lake that flows, and then there's a
Mm.
waterfall, and I'm like, where am I? This is crazy, right? This place
That's
is.
dope.
So they're like, yeah, so I'm out here delivering for them, and I'm out there a couple of weeks, and they're like, "Hey, we were wondering, you want to stay? We'll give you a raise." And I'm like, "A raise? What kind of raise?" You know, well, we'll give you know this, that, and that. Yeah, I want to stay. Yeah, I do. So I stayed. So I was in Pennsylvania like 4.5 years,
That's dope. That's
maybe even
dope.
5 years. Um, so I left Pennsylvania. I'm no longer in Pennsylvania. I'm now doing national line haul deliveries like all over the country now.
Hmm.
I decided actually I had a grandkid.
Yes,
So
it's so beautiful. I was looking at your pictures you posted on Facebook not too long ago.
that's
She is such a
that's Kiki.
cutie.
It's Kira. So Kiki, they call her Kiki. We call her Kiki. She calls me Grampy.
She calls you Grampy.
Yeah, and she calls Grandma Glamma.
I ain't mad at that.
Whatever.
I ain't mad at that at all.
Yeah, so I decided I'm gonna stay around Southern California a lot more and Texas because my I have two boys in Texas and then my daughters are in Cali, but she just had a grandbaby. I just want to be by this little cute little grandbaby, you know,
That is dope. That is
with
dope.
she's got
Congratulations.
dimples, she's got
Yes.
blue eyes. Like it's crazy. This baby came out crazy. Both of them don't got blue
I
eyes.
was about to say, because I met
They
your
got
daughter,
my
your
eyes. Look,
son-in-law.
they got my big blue bubble eyes. That for real. And we were I was holding her, and like the eyes are exactly the same.
That's dope. That's dope.
It's crazy. So
Well, look,
yeah. So
you
that's
had
the
just like a
current
really,
situation.
yeah, you've had a really amazing life. And I just thank you for sharing.
Whatever.
No,
You know what I've
for
had?
real, Joe. Like a lot of the stuff that you've done, people can only dream about doing. And so I'm excited to highlight it. I'm curious though. So sitting here now and looking back, they say hindsight is 2020. So what
Uh-huh.
is it that you know now that you wish you would have known earlier in life?
Okay, so what I know now is you need to you need to get assets, things that make you money.
Mm,
Because the things that you buy that don't make you money cost you money. So
mm,
when you buy things that make you money, it actually doubles up because you're not spending money on things that don't make you money. It's you're losing money, right?
mm-hmm.
So if all you got to do is put your money in places that will generate you money. That's it. That's the key that I wish I knew. But even though I heard it, but I didn't understand it and know how to actually put it into place. So I actually put it into place.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a lot of other things that I'm still working on to put more of them into place,
Mm-hmm.
and it's looking great. So I'm gonna buy a house in Cali. I don't know, within the next 6 months. It's about time. Maybe 3 months. I don't know, but I found some properties. Go and buy them. Go and
Nice.
buy
Party
one
at
right on a
Joe.
lake.
Party at
Yeah.
Joe
Well, you
Felice.
know what? This is just. I'm gonna drive truck, so you can come through. It's not gonna be big. I think I'm gonna get a little 2 bedroom. I don't need a big house. I
It
don't.
don't have to be big to be a party. What you talking about?
Oh no, it's on the lake. It's a party. You can party
I'm
outside.
just
It's cute.
saying.
It's right on the. It's a beautiful lake, Lake Elsinore. You know where it is?
Oh, Lake Elsinore. Yeah, that's out
Yeah,
by Pops. That's dope.
that's where my daughter lives.
You did
So
tell me that.
my daughter
Yeah.
bought a house in Lake Elsinore. I mean, it's kind of expensive. I was like, wow, you can afford this? They're
You
like,
so
yeah, we're
funny.
yeah, we're doing good, Dad. Shit. All right. All right. Well, if you can afford it, all right, cool. Hey, good job. It looks
That's
beautiful. Their
dope.
house is nice. The baby has a good environment. You know, all the as long as all the kids are good and taken care of, and that's really all that bugs me. Other than that, I don't even have any stress. Like I don't even care. I'm on the road. I can think a lot. My brain just keep ticks out there. Um, you're able to make money, and I don't have any bills. Really.
That's dope. More
The
assets
one,
than liability.
the car that I do have now, I'm gonna bring it out. It's in Pennsylvania. I don't drive it; it just sits out there. It's like a new car. I'm gonna bring it
Mm.
out to Cali, have my daughter manage it, and rent it on Turo. I don't need it, and then when I'm there, I'll just not rent it on Turo.
Right. Use it when you need it. Right.
And it'll pay for itself. And so that's like an asset. That's what stuff I'm talking about. You got to get this stuff I'm not using or this stuff put it to work, make money with it,
Dope,
you know?
dope, dope.
And I got that idea because I rented this car when I was in Dallas. I got to Dallas and I'm like, dang, I'm looking on Enterprise, like $400 for 5 days, and go on Turo and it's like 250. 250 for a Benz? Oh, I'm getting this Benz for 250. I'm gonna pull up. Oh, Dad, can I drive the Benz? My little boys. Yeah, sure, son. Here, it's a Turo. So we went in the parking lot, the Synergy, or the little, what it like AMC, right? The
Mm-hmm.
theater when it was closed. I
Mm-hmm.
let him pull it up and turn it. He's having a good. He's 11, but
Oh my goodness. You got
dude,
the little baby out there in the car.
but he did great. He was doing great. But he just want to say he drove the Benz, just a Turo.
I ain't even mad at that. Okay, so as we start winding down, you may or may not remember, but I am an educator, right? And
Yeah.
most of the time when I'm working with the students or with the teachers that I work with, I'm talking about mathematics. And so I was wondering if you could just really quickly, off the top of your brain, think about some ways that you employ mathematics in your professions, either in the recording or in the truck driving. How does mathematics show up in your work?
I'll go both of them really fast. Music is math. Math is music. Syllables are numbers. Bars are numbers. You chop it up into fours. There are different counts in music. It could be a 4/4 or 4/3, 5/7, whatever you want. You can create whatever you want. But it's all math, and it all rhythm is math. So math is
Hmm.
kind of life, and it's that big, circular thing. You know what I'm talking about? They see in the seashells, right? But math is in
Sure.
everything, everywhere.
The Fibonacci
So
sequence.
in truck driving, I mean, you got to calculate your miles. You need it. That's how you get paid. So you have to figure out this times this equals this, and this minus this equals this. That's how many miles I went. This is how much I'm getting paid. I spent 10 hours over there. I get paid this much an hour. I got to multiply it. And then the trip, how long is it going to take me to get there at going this fast? You know,
Mm.
I'm on the freeway. I got 65. I can't go faster than 65, so I have to stick at 65 because I got a governor. But now I know I need to, I'm going 450 miles. How long is it going to take me to get there? If I pull off, I have to take a break in between. I have a clock that's clocking me at the same time. And then, so it's tons of numbers. Everything's numbers. That everything is numbers. It all comes down to numbers. Everything, you know,
I appreciate that because that's a question that every teacher gets or
like when
every
are we
math
going to
teacher gets.
use this in real life?
Exactly. So thank you. So you guys heard it from Joe Philly. You're going to use it in the music and you're going to use it as a truck driver.
For sure. For sure. You're going to use it. Use it. You should use it. You know, you got little phones with calculators. We know that. But what happens if your charger breaks in the truck? You still got to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah, you can write it
Technology is
down.
not always going to be there. So how
It's
to
not going to
use
be
it.
there.
Mm-hmm.
And when you left your phone in the truck and you go into the actual customer and they ask you for the information, your phone's not there. You got to walk like a quarter mile back to go get it. You got to figure it out. And you can. You can't ask them for their phone. They'll be like, figure it out. Right? Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
thank you so much for sharing your story, Joe. I really appreciate you. I just really think that what you're doing in the world is making it a better place. And I look forward to connecting with you again in the near future, my friend.
Me too. Thanks for having me. I'll be here anytime you need me.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
All right. Bye, sis.